Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Now you're probably thinking, Molly, I swear I watched a video like last week where you looked exactly the same and were sat in the same place. Basically, I've taken today to like film a couple of videos, so if you're wondering, that's why. Don't really know why I had to explain that, but there you go. Okay, so today I'm here with a story time that is kind of shocking, kind of annoying, but ends well. But basically I'm just going to tell you a story that some of you might have been aware of if you like watched my vlog or if you follow me on Twitter. And this is basically how my Twitter got hacked a couple of weeks ago and what happened, and like literally my Twitter account got hacked. So yeah. Here we go. Before I start, if you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below because it means the world as always. And if you're watching this, just double check you're still subscribed because YouTube have been doing that thing where they like accidentally unsubscribe accounts. Gonna get straight into it. Basically, a couple of weeks ago now, I got an email through that said, oh, hi Molly, well like Beauty Spectrum in the email, I think it probably said, your Twitter account is now eligible for verification. Now this kind of screamed, ooh, this probably isn't legit, straight away to me. I was kind of like, alright, okay, God, probably not true. But I clicked on the email anyway, and part of me was like, okay, maybe it is true, because I'd actually submitted a thing just a little bit before that to have my account looked at to see if it was eligible for verification, which sounds really confusing, but Twitter have this policy where you can actually apply to be verified, and I hadn't done it, but I had clicked the link, so I didn't know if Twitter had maybe seen that. Like, I was kind of like, oh, it's probably not legit, but there's a slight chance that it maybe is, because I had been like looking at their terms of like verification, if that makes sense. So the email didn't seem completely out of the blue to me. It seemed random, but not like completely out of the blue. Right, so I get this email and I read it and I'm like, oh, it's probably not legit. And I didn't check the email that it had come from, which was stupid of me, guys. Always check that it's coming from like an actual email address, not a Gmail email. If that makes sense. So I got this email and the actual contents of the email looked really legit. It came from something that linked you directly back to the Twitter homepage. It linked you to Twitter's policy of verification. It looked 100% legit. So I emailed back saying, how would you go about this, right? They replied quite quickly, which seemed kind of odd. Stupid me being very naive was just like, wow, they replied fast. Yeah, so I get this email back that said, all we would need is for you to input your phone number to your Twitter account. So I was like, well, how is that going to make me verified? I put my number into my Twitter settings anyway because I thought, right, okay, well, that's an option anyway, so it's not going to be that dangerous. I emailed them back and I was like, I've done it, like, yeah. And I was literally being so stupid. Guys, don't do this. If you're watching this and you're going to take anything from it, just don't reply to spam emails, basically, is the general gist. And then they were like, oh, you're gonna get a verification code sent to your phone number. So they sent me this code, which was like literally 5 letters long, like DH8R something, completely random, just a random generated code. And they were like, oh, if you send us back that code, we can help verify it or something like that. So I weighed up my options here. I was like, I haven't given them any of my details, I haven't given them my phone number, I haven't given them my email address, I haven't given them anything, like I hadn't given a password. Like, nowhere in the email was there anything where they could get hold of my Twitter account. Also, I thought, now I don't know the ins and outs of this, but basically somehow this code that they sent to my phone number, I have no idea how it happened or how they got it to work, was like somehow a link to like my Twitter account through my phone number, which I was so confused about. So I get this text sent to my phone and it says from Twitter. Twitter have never texted me before, obviously. I was like, this is weird. And it said, oh, you've had a new login from somewhere in Los Angeles. So I was like, for God's sake. I knew it was fake as soon as I saw the first email, but I still went along with it just because I was being naive, like basically being stupid. But this is where the story gets a little bit weird. Like this, it was just a hacking, and then it gets weird. So I'm like, oh my God, my Twitter account's been hacked. So I'm still logged into my Twitter. So I'm really quickly there trying to change my password. So then I'm logged out and it's like, oh, session timed out, click to re-enter. So by this point I'm trying to do it on my laptop and I'm like, oh, I'll just change my password. But Twitter logs me out and I can't get in. So instantly I file a thing on Twitter where it says, oh, your password's been changed, click here if it wasn't you, like one of those things. So I clicked there. And then they really quickly changed my username so that I couldn't even request a password reset because my account no longer existed. Like they changed my username, they changed my password, so the account as I knew it no longer existed. So I was like, for God's sake, oh my gosh, I'm really close to 30,000 Twitter followers. By the time this goes up, I might have got 30,000, I'm not too sure when I'm uploading this. So I was like getting in a bit of a state because I was like, Twitter's like my main social media to back up my channel, like getting really upset. So I'm sat on my bed and I'm like, what do I do? So I Google Twitter's phone number, like their helpline. So I call Twitter and I get through to a person and the person's like, oh, I'm really sorry we don't deal with requests like this over the phone. Can you file a report? So I file a report. Bear in mind, it's been like an hour at this point because I'm sat there like, oh my god, what do I do? So I send Twitter an email like to the account that they've asked me to email, and they reply with like an automatic response, and it's like, this is gonna take 72 hours to get back to you. And I was like, for God's sake, like 3 days. I'm not waiting 3 days to get my Twitter account back. Like, God knows what they're gonna do. This is where it gets a little bit strange. So I emailed back the original email that hacked me, so the original email address. So for this sake, let's call the person that did it Bob. So I emailed back Bob, like the original email address, and I'm like getting all sassy and I'm like, this is a criminal offence, blah blah blah, because I just thought I might as well try and email them because they might just give it back. Very slim chance. And I didn't expect a reply because I thought, well, they've got what they wanted, they're not going to reply to me. So I'm like, this is a criminal offence, I can get the law involved, blah 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 blah, like getting really sassy. I was like, my Twitter account is like part of my career, blah blah, like lying but being really sassy. And I was like, I would be more than happy to like, because I've got so many Twitter accounts that I don't use anymore, I was like, I'd be more than happy to like give another Twitter account away if you're just after a Twitter account, because I have literally 7 Twitter accounts that I don't use. And I was like, but this account like backs up my job. I really didn't expect a reply. I just thought, if anything, that's gonna make it worse. But I was feeling so angry like at myself for being so stupid. So I sent this email, and then like literally within 30 seconds I get a reply from this person who's like, oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't realise your account meant so much to you. What? Excuse me? So I'm like, right, okay. So I reply again, being like, obviously my account means a lot to me, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it back. Like, I was being polite, but I was being like sassy polite. And they're like, oh, I'm a huge fan of your work, can you DM me? So I'm like, right, okay, it's gone from like a hacker in LA to a viewer. Like, what the heck? What's going on? So I emailed back just wanting my account back, and I was like, I'm happy to DM you, please give me my account back. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll reset the password and send you it over. So I'm sat there like, they're not gonna do this because why would they? So they sent me this password back. Oh, we can only reset your username if you DM me. So I'm like, okay, what's your account name? So they give me this really weird account and they're like, DM me, we want to talk. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna get really weird. All I wanted was my Twitter account back. So I was like, fine, whatever, fine. They changed the password, they reset it, they let me log back in. I instantly changed my username back, my password back, my email that the account is set up with is now a completely different email address because I didn't want them to have any contact with it. And they were like, oh, please DM us, otherwise we'll just hack you again. So I was like, oh my god, okay, what's going on? So I DM'd this account, who, was it them? Was it somebody else? Absolutely no idea. I changed the details of my account fully, and I'm like, okay. Thought nothing of it. So the next day I get an email, they're like, oh, we're really sorry for what happened last night, we just wanted to see if we could do it. Sorry, what? Like, literally all you did was somehow get a code verification text on my phone, and from that one code they had my Twitter account. I have no idea how it worked. Twitter's policy of like resetting passwords is so slow and has so many loopholes, so like if anybody from Twitter is watching, then please speed that up. Like, I was emailing Twitter so frantically. I was like, please help me get my account back. I filed so many reports against like hacking. But basically what it comes down to, and if you're watching this, don't reply to spam emails. Be aware of phishing, because I didn't, like, I knew what it was, and I knew when I got the email that I was being really stupid, but like, I didn't think I was giving away any details, and I just wanted to see, like, it looked so legit. You have to be so careful, guys. Like, check the email address, check the like IP address that it's come from, because I think you can probably do that somehow. It was so dodgy and it was so scary, and I was tweeting off my personal account trying to get you guys to help me out, and I was like, oh, tweet Twitter for me, tweet Twitter support, and people that I'm friends with were getting concerned because their mobile numbers were in my Twitter DMs, so they were like, oh my god, they're gonna link our numbers, what have I just done, kind of thing. But really luckily I've now got my account back, and that is definitely thanks to you guys and everybody that tweeted Twitter that night. And basically just, I don't really know why it happened or what went on. It was such a weird night, but this went on for like 3 or 4 hours and I was getting in such a state. So thank you to everybody that helped me get it back. But yeah, I just thought I'd tell that story time because a lot of you guys were like, Like, did you even get hacked? Nobody tweeted anything, and that was the weird thing. They didn't tweet anything off my account. They just hacked it, changed my username and left it, which I think is really odd. Don't know why people are like that, but I'm just gonna leave this video on be very careful who you reply to over email if they're trying to get account details. The same thing's happened on Instagram before, although never like as serious a level, but people trying to access my account. This time it actually worked, so just be very, very careful. Hopefully this is the last story time I'll ever do like this, because I don't want to be hacked again, because that was horrible and it really made me stress out. If you're not following me on Twitter, my Twitter and Instagram are always linked down below. You can go and follow me on both of those social media, say that you came from this video, because that would be very nice to see some new faces. But other than that, I think I'm gonna go. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already. Also, let me know down in the comments if you want any other story times, what you'd want them to be about, because I really enjoy filming these style of videos. I feel like they're really nice to film, and hopefully you guys really enjoy them. So yeah, I'll see you very, very soon. Bye!